Welcome back everyone to Angela's Craft Room. Today I've come to you doing a tutorial on this Christmas card. These are two different colour coordinations I've made. This one I've had a bit bigger the rhinestones, but I think the smaller ones do look better. But this one is just using Real Red, Garden Green and Very Vanilla. This one is Sahara Sand and Wisteria Wonder. So this time I'm going to be doing the star a little bit differently, but just so you know what stamp sets I'm using, one of the new ones, Star of Light, it has 21 stamp sets and it is a photopolymer stamp set. It was released on the 1st of December 2016, and also the corresponding thinlits that go with that are the Starlight thinlits, and I just love them. And they're stuck inside there. So these are the thinlits that you get when you get the bundle, and they're really nice. The only tip with them is the intricate ones. You will need the precision plate and the die brush and foam pad to use those. So let's get started. So the tutorial, I'm trying to make my tutorials shorter. So first we're going to have a base card which is Real Red in this instance, and it's going to be 11 inches long by 4 1/8 and scored at 5 1/2 and burnished with your bone folder. Then I have a piece of Garden Green that will go onto there, and that is 3 7/8 by 5 1/4. And then we will have a piece of Very Vanilla that I'll be stamping on, which is 3 5/8 by 5 inches. Okay, so let's get started. So we'll just pop straight away, we'll just use the snail for quickness, and we'll just pop that Garden Green on top of that Real Red. Now, to save time, I have done the inside of the card, which I will show you. Just pop this on. It's a really versatile stamp set, and yeah, I just love it. So the inside piece is 3 5/8 by 5 inches, and I've just stamped one of the stamp images in the set, which is the big swirl, which I just love it. So I just stamped full strength and then stamped again, so it's like stamping off. Okay, so that's the inside of the card all done and ready to go. So then your piece of Very Vanilla, which is 3 5/8 by 5 inches, I have already stamped the sentiment in the top left hand corner. May your season be peaceful, your new year be bright. So to start with, I'm going to bring in my Real Red, and I'm going to stamp that up. I'm going to take the ink pad to the stamp, just tapping it lightly. Now I might just stamp off a bit, and now I know where my sentiment is, so I know where I can stamp that swirl. Now I'm just trying to watch the camera at the same time to make sure I don't go off camera for you, so I apologise ahead of time if I do. I'm just going to do that one up a little bit, and then we might just stamp it off a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to clean that on my stamping scrub off camera, and then I'm going to bring in the Garden Green. Once again, I'm just going to lightly pat it. And this is just to give you an idea how to use the stamp set. Like, you don't have to do it obviously how I'm doing it. And then I'm going to bring in the Whisper White. Now, just stamp your Real Red and your Garden Green, or whatever colours you want. Stamp them first before you stamp your Whisper White on the Very Vanilla. I can see I've made a bit of a mess on that side of the block, so I'll just wipe that off. And then I'm just going to target this onto the green, so it really makes a difference. Just adds a little bit more colour to your stamp. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab my tweezers and get that stamp off, which I'll clean more thoroughly later. Then what we're going to grab is the little snowflakes, and I'm just going to dab them into the white and just put them wherever you want. I tend to get a bit out of control with my snowflakes. I'm not one that likes a lot of white space on my cards, but it's nice to have white space sometimes. That, we'll just clean that a little bit, and then we'll just bring in the Real Red again. I just love this how I've done it. So I just stamped that off. Yes, I think it's better stamped off. And then I'm just going to add some Real Red snowflakes around, just wherever I want. So I think that will do. So that's all our stamping done. Oh, it's not actually. We've still got to stamp the star. But the die cuts I've cut out is that one, and the smaller one, which I've cut a dimensional into quarters and just popped on the back of that small one. So I want to glue this onto here for a bit of added effect. So I'm just going to use my Tombow Multi liquid glue. And if it comes out a bit like in a big blob, I'm trying just to add just a very tiny bit. But if it comes out in a big blob, I just use a cotton bud. As those that know me, I use a cotton bud and just spread it out a bit. But you just need a little bit on there, on all the main points. So I will grab, just in one spot there is quite a big blob. Okay, this is the test of time. So I'm just going to, and I know I've got a piece of glue right on top, but that's all right, we'll get rid of that in a minute. I just love layering these stars. It just comes up so lovely. So that will dry clear eventually, so I've got rid of most of it. So just moving the points of the stars so they line up to the solid piece underneath. Like that. Then I'm just going to put my third piece in the center, like that. And I don't need any glue because the dimensional's going to hold it there for me. Like that. Alright. Then I'm just going to get my fine tip glue, because you know that I'm going to have to add bling. So I'm just going to put a dab in there in the middle, and this helps hide that dimensional as well. Even though we cut it into quarters, it just helps hide that dimensional. Stubborn little rhinestone won't let me pick it up. So just pop that on there. And it will take quite quickly with the fine tip glue. I was looking for my cotton bud. So that's going to stick. Oh, look at that, it came off. Oh, it just doesn't want to play with me today. I might have just had a little bit too much glue on there. You don't need very much. You just need it to take to that fine tip glue. So while I'm letting that, just hopefully it will take for me, I've already got mounted the large star. So what I'm going to do is we're going to stamp that onto the card at full strength. Don't want any little. Okay, so I'm just going to line that on my grid paper. And I'm going to put that right in the middle and just add as much pressure as I can. Sitting, it's a bit difficult. And straight up. Just give something underneath the star, because when we put it just brings out the little bit of star there and there. That seems to have stuck. So we'll just grab the Tombow glue again. Just, you don't need that much. And as usual, I've got a big blob in the centre, but that's all right. It's better to be in the centre than down the sides. Just on that last one, bit of glue, just spread that one out in the middle. So now we just want to position that wherever you want, wherever your heart desires. So just pat that down. pushing that over a little bit. If you use snail, once it goes down, that's it. You don't have any time to, and that looks quite nice. It's quite effective, and it hasn't taken us very long. So we'll just adhere that to the garden green. Make sure I'm opening it correctly. Get rid of all my glues out of the way. So just on there. So that's pretty straight, seeing I've used just the glue runner. Just tap it down on the sides. That pearl might just take a little bit longer than I'd hoped to dry, but it will dry. Just needs to have contact. So there we go. So that's the card for today, and all it took was a bit of stamping and a bit of die cutting, which I did off camera, and then the inside of your card. So I hope that you find some inspiration through that card. I will just quickly show you the other two so you can see the difference. So using the one stamp set, I'm getting quite a lot of different designs coming out of that one stamp set, and with the die cuts. But just remember, with your die cuts, please use the precision plate, and you will need the die brush and foam. And if you don't know what that looks like, that's this piece, the die brush and foam, and I've shown you how to use that in many tutorials, so I won't bore you with it today. So once again, thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today, and until next time, happy crafting.